I'll be honest, I have no idea off the top of my head where this episode is going to go. I I don't know. I haven't done a recording in like 3 weeks now. It's been close to 3 weeks, and that's kind of my fault. That's all my fault. Um, I didn't. I wasn't doing good at like thinking of things to even talk about. I feel like my mind's been a million places anyways over the course of the last month or two, maybe even 3 months, and unfortunately, this podcast in general has taken a hit in the last half year or more of just inconsistency. Like, I don't know. I just have not been able to lock down a schedule of when I want to do it. Because really, and I know that I'm sure that she would hate for me to say this, but the reality is that when I started this, it was really like an outlet to get thoughts and feelings and stories out, and with my girlfriend, I feel like I get all of that out to begin with, and I guess I kind of maybe accidentally forgot about everyone that listened. So I've been really bad about getting a schedule down, and been really dependent um on the times when when Ro isn't around. Um, like right now, she's at the movies with her sister, so I was like, okay, yeah, this is good. And I think that I was going to do it the other night because she was at a training, and I didn't end up doing it then either because I don't really know what there's not a real good because. I think it was because I wanted to watch Modern Family. Um, I think that like it just gets so fucking late sometimes. It gets so late so quick of like get out of work at 6:30 because I'm back on the overtime list now, so I'm working all the fucking time. Get out of work at 6:30 and get home even if she's not here. Like tonight's almost actually tonight is a perfect example. It is 7:47 on Friday night right now. I actually left work at 1:30 this afternoon because I had counseling at 3. So I left work at 1:30. I drive the hour to go to counseling. I'm in counseling until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I drive from counseling to Fremont back to Portsmouth. By the time I get here, it's 6 o'clock at night, and I'm fucking tired. I ended up sleeping for like 40 minutes, and then got to feed the cats, got to do laundry. I still haven't ate. I want to watch more Modern Family, or maybe like Infinity War for the millionth time, or something like I want to relax. I want to chill out on the couch and relax, and honestly, like I shouldn't put it off at all. I shouldn't put off the show at all because honestly, like if Ro is here in the apartment, I should just start fucking doing it. I've done. It's not like that would be a first. In fact, it might have been the last episode that I did. She was here. She was taking a shower, and she was kind of chiming in as I did it. But one of my favorite things is to like have her sitting next to me, weighing in on whatever dumb shit I happen to say. So, but anyways, the long and the short of all that is that I'm sorry for essentially finding life. So, but speaking of that, I was telling her and my counselor today actually. I was talking about kind of relationships, and as always, this whole thing is just a stream of consciousness. I take some notes that I'm just like, I type out like 5 words to kind of remind myself of what the fuck I was going for. So sorry if this doesn't come together perfectly, but I was talking to Ro the other day and then my counselor today about relationships, and I heard this thing that was more about like business relationships, but I equated it to like all sorts of relationships. So not just your intimate relationships, but also your friendships, your family relationships, that type of thing. Of it's a very interesting thing, and I don't think I've ever done this. I hope I never do. I hope I never have. But I've had it done to me in the past year of when you're down and out, when you're like at the bottom and you're feeling really bad about yourself and you just feel like life is miserable, and all your friends and family around you can see just like how hurt you are or depressed you are, or choose your adjective for how people want to view how you feel. you know, when they see that, they really want you to get better and be happy again. And then when you find something that brings that life back into you, and you get happier and you're feeling better, and people can see it in your face, and they can see it in your eyes, and they can see it in your actions, and the way that you talk, and the things that you do, they're really happy at first. But as that success goes on, that's when people start to get resentful. This is my own opinion. This is not some sort of medical diagnosis. This is my own opinion from the things that I've seen. Of people start to resent that, of like, what, I wanted you to be happy, but not this happy. And they'll support you all the way up until that race to happiness exceeds their own insecurity. Like you're outrunning them, because then you eventually get to a point. Again, this is from my perspective, things that I've seen. You eventually get to a point where you have gone past where their level of happiness is, and you've gone into your own happiness. Like, many people around you love you, but they'll accuse you of changing, and they'll resent that change. And it's their own insecurity that they didn't have the ability to change. They didn't have the ability to adapt and move on with whatever. They were able to get to maybe a certain level of happiness from whatever, downfall they may have had, or maybe they just never even had like a real downfall, but they've had their own ups and downs, but their ups never get to where your new up is, where your new height is, and they can't come to that level with you. I've done so much in the last year to improve my life, personally. I think back, I actually said thank you to Ro this morning, for putting up with, I shouldn't say putting up with, but being patient with me, because there was a million reasons that she could have and should have walked away, said, this isn't worth it to me. I don't want to be in a relationship with this person. And for whatever reason, she saw something in me, and kind of guided me through in changing and becoming a different person. I wouldn't even go so far as to say a better person, just a different person. I have stopped. I shouldn't say not stopped. I mean, I still have bourbon once in a while. But like, when we first started dating, I was drinking half a bottle of bourbon a night, half a bottle, which is a lot of bourbon. Especially because I know I wasn't drinking like bottom shelf stuff that cost $15 a bottle. I was drinking, mid top level bourbon, like $40-$45 a bottle, and I'm going through a bottle every other night. Like it's nothing, too. I was going through it like it was nothing, and I was treating it like it was nothing. My whole opinion on the whole thing was, I'm not beating my girlfriend, and I show up to work and I work through my day, so I'm fine. I guess I was a definition functioning alcoholic, and of course I still drink beer, so it's not like I'm sober, but I just one day back in February was like, I'm gonna finish this bottle, and then I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna buy another bottle after this one. And to this day, I haven't bought a full bottle. I've bought nips. I've talked about that a couple times over the summer, that I've bought nips of bourbon here and there. And even one of those I haven't had in a few weeks now, probably a little more than a few weeks, I think. Because I know that, like, when me and Ro went to Jackson a few weeks ago, and even that was at least 3 weeks ago. And at that point, it had been at least 2 or 3 weeks since I had any. But when we went to Jackson, we watched this movie, The Kingsman, and they're drinking bourbon in that movie over and over again. Which, anytime that I see someone drinking anytime that I see someone drinking bourbon in a movie, that makes me want a glass of bourbon, because I'm like, I want to enjoy the bottle. I want to enjoy the glass while the person on the screen is enjoying the glass. Like John Wick, Passengers, those are 2 movies where I watch and I'm like, oh man, I want a fucking glass right now. So we're up in Jackson watching Kingsman, and they're drinking bourbon, and I was like, oh, God damn it, I wish that I'd have bought a bottle. I wish that I'd brought a couple nips. I didn't want a bottle, but one glass. But But yeah, other than that, like I haven't bought like a full bottle of bourbon since February, and I still drink beer, but it's Coors Light, and even that, like I've cut back on quite a bit. Like I drank today's Friday, so I drank beer Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. No, it was just Wednesday. No, I think I had a couple of beers on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, I had beers. Um, and that's down from fucking every night, like 6 or 7 or 8 a night. And now it's the weekend, so I'm sure that I'll have drinks this weekend and whatever, because it's just fun to sit with Ro at the table or sit on the couch and have a beer with her, and we pour them into glasses because we're classy like that. Um, but anyways, getting back to what I was talking about was like just changing. Like if you're a person who has whatever your issue may be, whether it be depression or alcoholism or your addiction to fucking, I don't know, whatever, figure it out. And it's not like a healthy thing for you and it's affecting your life, and then you start to change that. People will be really supportive in the beginning of that change, and then all of a sudden they'll fucking flip a switch and they're not happy anymore. They're upset that you are changing without their help. And that's one of the bigger ones that I talked about today, was like when you start to become independent of another person, that's when that's when things really go bad. Is that, they had this impression that you needed them, and maybe you even did. Like there was a point in time where, there's, just off the top of my head, I can think of 2 particular people who I needed in my life. I needed to help me get through a certain thing, and they did, and they were there for me, and it was great. But once I didn't need them, it's not even like I was like, fuck you, I don't need you anymore. It wasn't anything like that. It was just me starting to be like, okay, I'm through this storm. Thank you for assisting me through it, but I'm better now. And of course, none of this is vocalized. It's all stuff that you can kind of just see. It's like the calls stop coming and the conversations stop happening because you're getting better. You don't need that crutch anymore. So you're moving on into independence. And then these people get mad that you're not reliant on them anymore. Which, if anything, it doesn't even make sense to me, because like I don't want to be the one that's relied on. Like I don't want someone to need, like, I don't really know how to put this. Like I want to leave my intimate relationship with Rochelle completely separate from this. So just, so this really just applies to friends and family of like, I wouldn't want one of my friends or family to need me forever. Okay. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Like you kind of want your significant other to need you in their life as much as you need them in your life, as much as, like healthy reliance, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like you want your significant other to want you in their life as much as you want them in your life. But when it comes to friends and family, like I wouldn't want that either way. I wouldn't want to rely on one of my friends or family forever. Like, oh, I need to have you. Like, I want you in my life. I want you to be there. I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to shoot the shit with you. But I don't want to need you. I don't want to have to, constantly rely on you for every little thing. And then the flip side to that is that I wouldn't want them to do that to me. Like I wouldn't want someone from my family or my friend list to be like, I have to call on you every fucking day. I've had those situations through military friends who've gone through like hard or dark times, and I totally get that. They'll like lean on me for that time period of darkness or whatever that they're going through, and I'm helping them through it. But there's a goal in mind of setting you free, of setting one of us free, whether it be me needing to lean on them or them needing to lean on me. There's a goal in the end of setting you free, of being able to get back to life on your own. So it's odd to me when someone wants that reliance. Like they need you to rely on them. I mean, it's total bullshit. It seems like narcissism to me. I could be wrong about that. I know that Ro is very well versed in that area, so maybe she would know whether or not that's narcissism. But yeah, I was yeah. So I guess I was just thinking earlier today about how interesting it is that people will support you until you've figured out how to do it on your own, until you figure out how to run on your own, and then all of a sudden they're mad at you for not needing them. It's just a weird fucking thing. So that didn't take up nearly as much time as I was hoping it would, but that's okay. I got plenty. I don't actually have plenty else to talk about. I told Ro a story the other night. I started to tell her. Actually, before I say that, I don't know the fucking direction that this podcast is taking anymore. I have no idea because to tie into that last topic of changes, like this really just started. I've talked about it a million fucking times. This started as just like my little rant session of, here's some thoughts that I had during the week, and me just hitting record and talking into the abyss. And if someone wanted to listen, then great. If not, then I don't care about that either, because it's really just for me to get some thoughts off my chest. That's how it started. And then, I started to take on this personality that wasn't good of like, well, I want to make people laugh, and I wasn't doing it in the right way. Like I was like being gross for grossness sake. There were a lot of, I don't even know how much of it I regret, because I do genuinely, like inside of myself, think that some of the shit that I said was funny. I just think that those are inside thoughts that probably either should have stayed there or been shared with friends, not posted to the internet. Is kind of how I feel about that past. Like I don't really regret the things that I said that were like that. I just think, I should have found a better outlet to say them. But as we move on here into the future, I don't really know anymore where this all goes, because it's not that I don't feel funny anymore. I do feel as funny as I did before. I love making jokes and saying things that make friends laugh, and saying things that make Rochelle laugh. I love doing that. But when it comes to this, I don't really know the direction that I want to take anymore, because things seem to have changed a lot over the summer. Like I feel more motivated to be a better person than I ever have in my life. And a lot of that has to do with going to the gym. Like a huge part of that has to do with waking up early and doing this thing. So I don't know if any single one of you that listen to this show have any interest in going to the gym or working out or getting healthy or whatever, but I feel like talking about it. So I started in mid-June going to the gym 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. I tried this week to start waking up at 4:45, and it's crazy that 15 minutes makes such a difference, because since June 14th, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. I wake up, it takes me a couple minutes to get out of bed, but I do it. I get up, and I get dressed in the dark because I don't want to disturb my mate. I don't want to mess up her sleep. I get dressed in the dark. I go give her a kiss goodbye. She always, without fail, will say, have a good workout. And then I go downstairs, I feed the cats, and then I leave. Like I try to be out the door by like 5:20 5:20 is even a little later than I'd like to get out, but 5:20 is when I try to get out by. I've had days where I don't get out the door until 6 o'clock. I think this morning I left at 6:15. But for the most part, I try to get up at 5. I try to get out the door by 5:20. And I go to the gym and I do 30 minutes of cardio followed by 30 minutes of some sort of weight exercise. Biceps, chest, triceps, shoulders, back, legs, abs. I try to, and that's over the course of 6 days, not in one day. That's over the course of 6 days. And it has made me feel much better about myself. Certainly, like, I get, like, every day I post a picture. Every day, Monday through Saturday, I wake up, I go to the gym, and I sweat my fucking ass off. I sweat as much as possible. Like, I see these guys at the gym that I do not understand. There's guys at the gym that are not out there giving 100%. And I don't even understand, like, I'll give it to them that they look good. Like, they look like, okay, you've achieved a good looking body. Good, congratulations. But they're not pushing it to 100. They're in there giving 70%. Maybe even less. They're maybe even giving 60%. They're in there, they're doing their weights, they're going through the motions, but they're not working up a sweat, which blows my mind. Because I go in there and I want that sweat. I want a puddle on the floor. And if you've followed my Instagram or my Facebook, you have seen those puddles on the floor. Every fucking day, I take pictures of whatever puddle I have made of sweat. Just a puddle on the floor. It's actually kind of cool to me. I like it. And actually, I'm actually getting frustrated because I'm starting to not sweat as much as I was. Like, I look at pictures from 3 or 4 weeks ago of my sweat puddles, and then I look at ones from this past week, and they're not as big as they were. So I got to switch up my routine a little bit. I got to figure out a way to switch up my routine and get more sweat out. But I see these guys that are not they're not in there sweating. They're not in there taking off a t-shirt that looks like they just jumped in a pool, because that's how my t-shirt looks when I'm done. When I'm done working out, my t-shirt is completely soaked, like I just pulled it out of the washer. In fact, it's more wet than, if it's gone through the rinse cycle, it's more wet than that. So yeah, I don't understand these guys. I go in there and I put the headphones on. I put on whatever music I'm going to listen to, or once in a while I've listened to a podcast. Like, I'll listen to David Goggins, who is in fucking sane. If you haven't heard of him, he's insane. What's up, Jason Almy? I thought you were supposed to be on this show with me, but that's all right. Jason Almy checking in on the comments. He was supposed to be here tonight, and then he bailed on me for date night or something gay like that. That's more of that, things that I should have kept inside my head coming out. But whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll get there. Okay, I'm working on it. But yeah, anyway, so I see these guys, they're not giving 100%. I'm in there giving 100%. 6 days a week, and it feels good because I finish up with my workout, I go shower and whatever, and I'm ready for the day. I go to work. I'm a little tired through the day, but for the most part, I feel good that I went in and I did it. I got it done. And then, like, I've been doing better, I think, about watching what I eat and just, dropping weight big time. Like, I dropped 30 pounds from June 14th to September 14th. I lost 30 pounds. This next 10 pounds I knew ahead of time was going to be difficult, right? Because for most of my 20s and 30s, I hovered around 250 pounds. Most of my 20s and 30s. And then a few months ago, I get on the scale and I'm almost 280. I was like 278 pounds. I was mortified when I saw that. Because I hadn't stepped on a scale in a long time anyways. I knew I wasn't looking great. I knew that I might be like 260. I did not expect to see almost 280. And it took me a little bit. It took me about another month before I was like, because like I remember like I was snoring really bad, and I think that I'm still snoring quite a bit, but I don't think it's as bad because it was so bad at one point that Ro couldn't even sleep with me. Like she would go to bed with me, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and she would be downstairs because she couldn't sleep with me. That's how bad it got. And we were at like a softball game one day, and she was talking to me about it, and I was like, I think that it has to do with my weight. And she was like, well, how much do you weigh? Or I think she said, I think it was like, how much do you usually weigh, or should you weigh? Something like that. And I was like, well, I've been around 250 for, most of my 20s and 30s. She was like, how much do you weigh now? And I was like, too much. And she was like, how much? And I was like, I think I downplayed it and said 275. I'm pretty sure it was 278. But I think I said 275. And she was like, yeah, that'll probably do it. That much extra weight. And it still took a few weeks before I finally was like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go. I'm going to sign back up for the membership. And Planet Fitness is a billion-dollar company. Like, their profit last year was like $900 million. And that's the profit, okay? So that's after they've paid all the bills. That's after they paid all the employees. That's after they've paid all of the expenses of repairs. That's after they've paid for all of this shit. Their profit was $900 million, okay? We are talking about this huge billion-dollar company. And, hold on a second. Yeah, sorry. I wondered if that might be Mr. King of Shit Mountain texting me, being like, "Hey, send me the fucking StreamYard." But that is a huge company, and you know how they make so much fucking money is from people going to Planet Fitness, signing up, and now they feel good that they're giving Planet Fitness anywhere from $10 to $25 a month. They feel good about it, so they feel a lot better when they drive through Wendy's and order a fucking triple Baconator, you know, because they're thinking like, oh, I've got my membership. Or the ones who, you know, a certain person who's going to remain unnamed. I'm not going to mention her name, but you know, it is her. Of like, oh, I went and signed up for Planet Fitness and I went for 3 days. Why am I not a fitness model? You know, I don't get it. I ate right for 3 days and, you know, I didn't lose 40 pounds. Like, commit, fucking discipline, you know, have some fucking discipline. I don't know, and don't ever ask me. I already see the comments in my head coming in a year, you know, as long as I keep it up and I keep going and I keep working out and I look good in a year. I won't be surprised to be getting the messages of like, hey, I want to start working out. Like, what do I got to do? Like, what should I do? Which I don't fucking know. I can't answer that for you. All I can do is tell you what worked for me was to go, sign up, and say, tomorrow it starts. And that's what I did. The next day I got up and I began. I took a step. I hate it. I can tell you that I fucking hate it. I hate waking up. I absolutely every morning hate waking up. I don't like, and for a different reason than ever before. 5 years ago, if you said, do you like waking up? I would have said, no, I hate waking up because I wish that I had died in my sleep. That was me 5 years ago. Today, fast forward to today, I hate waking up because it means I have to get out of bed from Ro. And she is super comfortable. The pillow is comfortable. The mattress is comfortable. I just want to lay there and stay in bed and stay asleep. That is what I want to do. I want to quit my job and make this my job. This is my job. This is my new job. I just lay in bed forever. I hate it, but and like, not everyone will have this, but it does help to have someone like her who is kind of like super. She's not. I don't even want to call her motivating because it's not like she's saying like, "Hey, get like." She didn't motivate me to go at all. Like, I told her I wanted to, and she was like, "Okay, tell me what you need." You know, it wasn't like I did it. I mean, I kind of did it because of her, I guess. Because I looked at myself in the mirror after I saw that 278. I looked at myself in the mirror more than once, and I was like, God damn, this looks awful. This is like the worst I've looked in my life. And she was super reassuring of like, I don't care what you look like. I love you. I fell in love with you, and I don't care, you know, how you look. But if this is something you want to do, then I will support you every step of the way. And she has. So I don't know if motivator is the right word or not, but it certainly helps to have someone who is super motivating like that. Like, I posted a picture. It was only a day or two after I went to the gym for the first time. She goes to the store and she buys me all this. Like, I bought a gym bag and she buys me all this stuff to put in it. Moisturizer, toothbrush, toothpaste, body wash, loofah, hair conditioner, all this stuff. She buys all this stuff for me to like help encourage me to go to the gym. So it definitely helps to have someone supporting you that is saying like, hey, do this thing. And then also she was the first person, which is crazy. This is crazy to me. She was the first person to notice any sort of change in me. It was only about 2 or 3 weeks after I started going to the gym, and I had already lost almost 10 pounds at that point. Like I said, that first 30 pounds came flying off. It came off. It came off really fast. Uh, so, anyways, yeah. So she noticed within the first few weeks, that first 10 pounds, she took a picture of me. And then when I sent her a picture of my progress after that first month, she said, she complimented me on my progress, but said, I could tell that you were losing weight already. And she sends me this picture that she took of me. And you can see my clothes are already starting to get loose. And that was another thing. Like work shirt, like the post office shirt is a button down shirt. And right around my belly button, that shirt was coming, or that button, that one button right by my belly button was coming undone every day while I was at work, because my fat fucking stomach was pushing it out. And luckily it has not done that in at least 2 months, if not more than that. So yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't know where the podcast goes. I was supposed to have someone on tonight to talk about nutrition, which that'll be coming. I'm still going to have someone on tonight, or on the show, to talk about nutrition, because I want to know about nutrition. Like, I want to know more about it, like meal planning. I am fucking awful at the whole meal planning thing. I've looked into it. It gives me anxiety. It makes it fills my fucking head, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, here's meal for day one. Here's your day one. This is what you can eat. Here's your day two. And it should be easy. It sure sounds like it should be easy, but it just does not come to me very easily. I look at it and I'm like, this doesn't, like, you want me to, this is what I'm eating for the day. I have to go to, and then, like, here's the plan for the week. Here's everything that I can eat for the week. Now I have to go to the grocery store, find each one of these items, cook whatever needs to be cooked, and then set them all out in fucking, in Tupperware cans of, what's that? 3 times, that's 21 different meals. If you figure lunch, breakfast, or breakfast, lunch, dinner for 7 days, it's 21 meals. I don't know. I've never been able to figure out like a good meal plan type thing. All I can really do is just kind of go based on my own thing of like, breakfast for me for the last month and a half or two, really probably closer to 4 months, has been about the same every morning. I have a protein shake, a banana. For the first 2 months, I was having hard-boiled eggs every morning. Lately, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been protein shake, banana, and like one of those chewy granola bars type of thing. There's like one of the low-calorie ones, like 90 calories, right? And I try. The other thing that I've tried in the past was to avoid sugar, and that really fucking fucks with my head. Of like, anytime that I've been like, I want to cut out sugar out of my life, it's near impossible, because sugar is in goddamn everything. Everywhere you look, there's things that have sugar in it. I've tried to look for things that don't have sugar in them, and it's almost impossible. Like, why does sugar have to be so good? We talk about a heroin epidemic, and I understand there's a big difference between the way that heroin kills people and sugar kills people, but still, I would say that more people on Earth are addicted to sugar and caffeine than ever in the history of heroin has ever. There's never been a more addictive substance than sugar and caffeine. Sugar takes the cake on that one. No pun intended. But sugar definitely leads the way on the addiction list. And it's almost impossible to cut out. It is in fucking everything. Corn syrup is in fucking everything. And then when you try to cut out sugar, and if you fucking tell people that you're going to cut sugar out of your life, and then you always have these idiots that are like, oh, no more apples, because apples have natural sugar, okay? I feel like it might be easier to cut out added sugar. And some things aren't bad. Like, apparently Red Bull has 2 different fucking sugar-free drinks. One is called Zero and one is called Sugar-Free. And they are both no sugar, which is great. And the calorie difference is insane. If you look at like a 16-ounce can of Red Bull, the regular Red Bull, and then like a 16-ounce can of sugar-free. The sugar-free is like 5 calories, I think, or maybe it's 10 calories. And the regular one is like 210 calories. It's crazy. And calorie counting, that's always been like, either I go hard all the way and I fucking account for everything that I eat. But the problem for me comes with any time that I eat something that isn't going to be perfectly matched there, right? Because I'm not like, if I go get a pizza right now from Pizza Factory, that's not listed in the app. You know, I can get a general idea of what a single slice of pizza from virtually anywhere is going to be there, but I can't get it perfectly to what is Pizza Factory's calorie, and what's the calorie if I get a pizza with mushrooms and peppers and sausage, right? Like, or you can just add all of that shit to it. Like, it hurts my fucking head sometimes. But I'm trying. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to watch everything that I eat. I'm trying to be like really take note of everything that I eat, which it can get frustrating. And I can see how people end up overweight. I certainly see how I ended up way overweight. I can see how it happens of like, I want to eat what I want to eat. Like I want to be able to go to Cumberland Farms, which is a gas station here in New England, similar to holiday gas stations out in the Midwest. I want to be able to go to Cumberland Farms and get, a slice of pizza and a bag of Doritos and get all the things. Get the fucking donuts out of the little case. I want to be able to eat all that stuff, but the problem is that then that's how you end up going from 250 to 280. And I can work out all I want, but if I keep eating all that stuff, then it doesn't really go anywhere. Like I could probably work out the way that I am right now, of like get up every morning, go to the gym, be there for an hour and change, work as hard as I want to, but I'm never going to get below 250. Like if I continued eating that way, if it was McDonald's for lunch and Aroma Joe's for breakfast every day, and then come home and have, pizza or Chinese food or whatever for dinner, I'll be lucky if I get below 260 really. I might be able to get below 260, probably range in that 255, 260 area, but I'm not going to look good. And I want to look good. Like I think that everyone wants to look good. I think you're lying to yourself or you're lying to me if you say, I don't care how I look. I don't care if I look like a slob. I know Jason says I have thoughts on all of this. Of course you do. That's why I wanted you here tonight. But yeah, so I think I think you're lying to yourself if you say, I don't care how I look. I think that you don't have to admit being vain to admit I care how I look, because I think that unfortunately sometimes that like people think that might go hand in hand. Oh, he wants to look good, so he must really care about, he must be really narcissistic, or he must be really concerned about his self-image, when really it has more to do with, for me, it has a lot. I don't know. I know that I think that I look at Rochelle and I see this absolutely gorgeous woman. I think that she looks absolutely beautiful. She looks beautiful for a 25-year-old, much less how old she is, or her age. I shouldn't say old. Sorry, babe. I didn't mean to say that. She does not look her age, though. I know that when I first started talking to her, I thought that she was 6 or 7 years younger than me. And it turns out that she's 6 or 7 years older than me. I know it's 6. I was just using that as whatever. That's not the point. I think she looks amazing. And I know that I felt bad about going out with her and me not looking good. And just in my own head, whether or not it was a reality or just my perception of reality, doesn't matter. But in my own head, I was thinking people must look at the two of us, and the first thought is not, he must be a really good person. The first thought is, what the fuck is that smoke show doing with him? He's gross. That's my own internalized thoughts. That's my own internalized perception of myself. So I wanted to look better. Like I remember my father telling me, my father worked narcotics in the early 80s. And this is back before like DEA started using just fucking confidential informants to send them in and do their dirty work. Because I watched that show on Spike many years ago, and the DEA, they don't actually go undercover anymore. Now they just take some bum off the street who's addicted to meth, and they say, hey, we won't arrest you, but we do need you to wear this wire and take on the dangers of our job and go inside that crack house and buy some crack and come back out and give it to us so we can build a case against the house. That's how they work now. But back in the 80s when my father did it, that was not a thing. My father had to wear the wire. My father had to go undercover. My father had to go and sit in these places, and he had to look the part of the dirtbag. So he's got this big beard, bigger than my beard. He's got hair grown out, not as long as mine, but almost as long as mine, because that was the style back then, was big beards and long hair, and you look like a piece of shit. And he told me once how much he hated that look, because he would go to the mall with my mom, who he thought was an absolute smoke show. And he felt bad because he's walking through the mall and he could see people looking at my mom and looking at him and thinking, why is this woman with that guy? And that's kind of how I felt a few months ago, of being like, of my own thing. And I don't know, maybe my father passed that on to me and it was not a real thing ever, but certainly that's how I felt. I hated how I looked. I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't like it. And I'd be like, I'd look in the mirror and I'd talk to myself. I'd be like, we got to get this thing on track, man. What are we going to do here? And really, like, going to the gym, working out, eating better was not on the list. It was like, what do we do to fix this? I want the quick fix. Everyone wants the quick fix. Everyone, I already said it once in this show and I don't care. I do love the people that are like, I don't get it. I tried going to the gym. I tried going to the gym. The weight didn't come off. Yeah? How long did you try for? Dude, I went for a week. I went for a whole week and I only lost 2 pounds. Well, actually that's the healthy rate to be losing weight. That's about what I was dropping, was 2 to 3 pounds a week for the first 12 weeks. And granted, in this last month, I've really not, I've kind of fluctuated in, between 245 and 250. But a lot of that I think has to do with, because when you start building muscle, so you're building muscle, which is burning fat, but muscle weighs more than fat. So I'm exchanging fat and muscle right now is where I think I'm at. Like, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a fucking doctor. I haven't talked to a goddamn person about this. But I'm exchanging one for the other, and that's probably, in my opinion, that's probably why I'm not dropping these last, this next 10 pounds as quickly as I'd like to. Like, I don't even know where I want to get. When this whole thing started a few months ago, Rochelle asked me, what's your goal weight? And I said, I want to be under 250. I want to get under 250. That's where I want to be. And since then, I've gotten under 250. I've hovered between 245 and 250 for the past month. Maybe a little less than a month. About a month, yeah. I've been hovering around between 250 and 245 and 250. But I'm not discouraged. I am getting kind of bored. I can tell you that. Like, sitting on I can't run. I get this fucking plantar fasciitis, which is killing me. I'm going to run tomorrow. Okay. I don't care how much it hurts my foot. I will nurse it for the rest of the weekend because tomorrow's Saturday and then I'm working and then I don't have to work again until Tuesday morning. So I will nurse it as much as I need to, but I'm running tomorrow morning. But I've been using the bike and the row machine and the elliptical, and all of them are boring as shit to me. I fucking hate them. I shouldn't say I hate them. Like, the bike isn't terrible, but it is boring. And being leaned over the whole time, I just don't like it. I don't like it. The only good thing about the bike is that the bike does result in a nice sweat puddle. The row machine does not give me a good sweat puddle. And even the treadmill, what happens is I'm running, I'm using my arms, going back and forth with my arms, and the sweat is coming flying off of my arms onto the screen of the treadmill. So I have to take a picture of that after. But yeah, so I forget how I ended up on all of that, but it doesn't matter. The point is that these people that are like, I tried losing weight. It doesn't work. I'm gonna have to go get surgery to lose all this weight. Why? Have you really committed yourself? Maybe if you went to the gym on a regular basis, and you know what? Fuck the gym. Don't even go to the gym. For the first 2 months that I was going to the gym, I wasn't even using a single piece of equipment there that I couldn't get outside of the gym. Meaning, I was running on the treadmill. I can run outside. I could have been running outside. So scratch that one off the list. Don't need the gym for the treadmill because you can run or walk outside. Then I had two apps on my phone that were body weight exercise, just fucking doing, bicycle kicks and flutter kicks and leg lifts and planks and sit-ups and push-ups and mountain climbers and all these things that required zero gym equipment for the first 2 months. And I even thought to myself, like, why am I here? Why am I paying this money? And like I said earlier, like I'm paying the money, so I don't want Planet Fitness to make a profit off of me. And I know that me going like doesn't really affect their bottom line, but I am going there and I'm using everything. I'm taking 15-minute showers. I am, and that's the water bill. I'm using all of the equipment. That's the electricity on their fucking, treadmills and bicycles and row machines and ellipticals. I'm using the electricity there. I'm using their fucking tanning beds. That's a ton of electricity. I'm using their massage chairs and massage beds and all this bullshit, right? I don't want them to I want my $25. I want to be the example of like, well, this is a person we're not making money on. That's what I want. But that said, those first 2 months, maybe even 3 months, I didn't start really like using weights or anything until Rochelle got me this book for my birthday called the Men's Body Sculpting Bible, I think is what it's called. And it's got this it says it has a 2-week workout in it. Really it's an 18-week workout, because it's like, here's workout 1, week 1 and 2. Now here's week 3 and 4. Here's week 5 and 6. Here's workout 2, week 1 and 2, week 3 and 4, week 5 and 6. There's 3 different workout routines like that. So it goes on 6 weeks each one. So it's 18 weeks. And I am really genuinely looking forward to mid-January when I get to that 18 weeks to be like, to really look at, pictures of myself. I found a picture of myself right like a week before I started going to the gym. I found a picture so I can compare the two. I mean, it's not like it's not a actual body picture, like I wasn't, in a bathing suit or something, which would have been perfect, but unfortunately it's not. I have a torso picture, but it's really just like, it's like the top of my shoulders down to like my waistline and that's it. Is my before picture. Like I wish that I had the forethought to, way back in June, take like a bathing suit picture so that I could see like all the difference, because there will be a lot. There will be, I'm working hard. I am working really. I get to the gym and it is all business once I get there. And now I've spent like half an hour talking about going to the gym, which is way too much time to spend talking about the gym. All right, I got 2 things to talk about, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here. The first one, I had no idea this was a thing. So for you guys with beards, you let me know if you've ever noticed this. Let me know if this is a thing that is real. I don't know. I didn't believe it was real until I saw it firsthand. So me and Rochelle and her sister, her nephew, and our friend Kimmy go to the Deerfield Fair last weekend. So for my national listeners, the Deerfield Fair is kind of like a circus. Yeah, it's just like a circus. It's much like a circus, except switch out the smell of elephant shit with cow shit and horse shit and dog shit and pig shit and fried dough and apple crisp. Yeah, that's a fair. So the deer, it's an agricultural thing. And I know that they're fucking nationwide. I know that the Deerfield Fair is not fucking the only fair in the world, but I think that it's like the oldest in New England or the oldest in New Hampshire, or it's the only one in fucking America. I don't know. But we go to the Deerfield Fair last weekend, and I'm standing there, and Rochelle's sister and nephew haven't shown up yet, so it's me, Rochelle, and Kimmy, and we're standing there, and I didn't see this happen, but all of a sudden, Rochelle and Kimmy are like, "What the fuck was that about?" And I'm like, what was the what about? And they were like, "That guy just looked at you." And I said, "Okay." I was like, "Are you sure that he wasn't looking at you? You know, you're two girls standing here. Why was he looking?" And they're like, "He had a big beard. I think he was checking out your beard." And I laughed. I was like, "That's not a real thing." And they're both like, "Absolutely. He was checking out your, for sure. He was checking out your beard." And then they're like, "Is that a thing? Like, do guys check out other guys' beards?" And I said, "I've never heard of that being a thing. I've never seen anything about. I've never seen that happen. I don't know what you're talking about." And then we're walking along, and then again another guy. They're like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "Nope." And they said, that guy just checked out your beard." And they started saying like, "This is a thing. This is absolutely a thing. Guys checking out each other's beards." And again, something I've never done, never noticed before. So then we get a third guy coming towards us, and he's got a beard. And they were like, look, watch this guy and see if he does it. And all three of us noticed, for sure, this guy checked out my beard, which I don't even think is a very impressive beard to begin with. It barely qualifies as facial hair. But yeah, this guy also checked out my beard. And I just wondered, is that a real thing? Like, for you bearded gentlemen out there, like, last I knew, King of Shit Mountain had a beard. Like, have you ever noticed someone checking out your beard? Tom Stevens, he's got a big old fucking beard, but I think he's in like Ireland or something like that. So maybe they all have beards over there. There's probably not a lot of beard checking out going over there. Alex from You Suck, have you ever noticed this phenomenon of people checking out your beard? So yeah, that was one thing that I had in my notes. And then the other thing was just a story. It's kind of a stupid, silly story. I don't even know. I know it's in here because Rochelle told me put it in your notes, which I didn't even get to tell her the whole story. And I don't remember. Oh, that's what it was. I think it was that it popped up as a commercial. It popped up as like a commercial of like credit cards for kids, like teaching kids financial responsibility. But it's not even like, it should be geared towards like teenagers, but the kids in this commercial were like 8-9 years old, and you give them a some sort of card. I don't know if it's a credit card or what, but it's a card that you give to them, and then you probably load the balance on your kid's card. Probably because we're in a time now where everything is cards. Like, we went to that Deerfield Fair last weekend, and everything was cash. It's the 21st century, and everything was cash. I had to wait in line for an ATM for 40 minutes. 40 minutes I waited in line. I could have watched an episode of Lost on my phone. That's how long this line was. And it took 40 minutes to get to the front of the line to get out $40. But outside of the fair, everything is cash. Everywhere you go, or everything is card. You can use your card anywhere. I forgot my wallet in the truck the other day, and I was able to use my smartwatch to pay for something. I got in the store, and I'm like, I don't feel like going back out to the truck. And then it clicked in my head, oh yeah, that's right. I set up my watch the other day. Now I just wave my watch in front of the little register thingy, and it pays for it. I'm done. So I assume that's probably why this is a thing today. But you know what? I had this idea many years ago. Okay, I was probably about 10 years old. No, I must have been about 12 or 13 years old, because my father had just recently retired from state police at that time. So I was probably like 12 or 13 years old. And I think it might have been summer or one of the vacation periods, because me and my brother had an entire day to come up with this fucking plan of wanting to, we were going to try and convince our parents to give us credit cards. We came up with a whole list of why we should have a credit card, how it will teach us responsibility, how it'll help us for the future with being responsible with money and knowing how this stuff works. My parents completely laughed at us. Could you imagine if I had, you know what? I love my parents, okay? Let me start there. Let me get that disclaimer out. Love my parents. I think they did an exceptional job raising us, both of them. I think they absolutely did the best that they could. They sacrificed. I think both of them sacrificed a lot for us to have certain things like going to Catholic school. To be honest, I don't know why the fuck they sent us to Catholic school, other than I think that my mother wanted to show my fucking grandparents that we were, good Catholic kids or some dumb shit like that. You know what? If my mother can hear me from the grave, I'm sorry. And you know what? I hope one day you can explain it to me. But I don't believe that was a smart move. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because you know what? I guess I can understand it from the perspective of Catholic, for whatever reason you go to Catholic school, it's like you have a better shot of getting into a good college, right? I was never college bound, but my parents probably thought I was. So maybe that had something to do with it. But I think the majority of their decision, like the Catholic was doing the heavy lifting on this. The majority of the decision was the fact that my grandparents, particularly my grandmother, on my mother's side, was heavily Catholic, and I think that my mother wanted to show, like, look, we're raising good Catholic kids. My grandmother was, I didn't like her. She was not, I don't even know how to describe her. This is the grandmother on my mother's side. Fuck. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, the Catholicism, it was, I didn't like how it was forced on me. That's what it was. It was forced on me. I never got a choice. I think that it molded certain things into me. I remember going to confession and lying because I felt guilty about not having anything to confess. I was 10 years old. Okay? The fuck do I have to confess to? I went to confession and lied to a priest because I felt guilty about having nothing to confess. The logic on any of it doesn't even make any fucking sense. There was shit like that. Like, and walking in the goddamn house every day and seeing this picture of Jesus on the wall with blood running down his face. What do you think that does to a kid's psyche? And how's that supposed to make anyone, I don't get it. I don't understand religion in general. I think that it has caused so many wars and so much death, more than it has saved. I think that there's great morality in the Ten Commandments, but I think that for the most part, we can instill that in our own kids without the use of religion. And it should be illegal for parents to be like, well, you're my kid, so this is the religion you're going to be. Like, if we have a freedom of religion, then it should be up to a kid to decide what they're like. It shouldn't even be a topic. Like, it shouldn't even be like, and there's no way to control that. And not that I would ask for control of any sort, but there's no way to control that. It's just, here's what you get. I don't know how you would do it other than, because it's like secrets, it's like, let's say that you raise your kid and you're like, I'm not going to talk about God. I'm not going to talk about Jesus. I'm not going to talk about religion. This is a religious free household. And you try to raise them like that. They're still going to go to school. They're still going to hear about things at school. They're still going to pick up on their own things, and they're still going to have to figure it out. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't know if any of us will. For the most part, I think that dying is like going to sleep. It just all ends and goes blank there. I hope there's more after this. I hope that when all this ends, that there's something. I hope that I get to see my mother again. But I just don't think that's. I don't think that's a real thing. I think that most of religion is probably based on the wrong things. Of, like, if I go down to South America into the jungles in Brazil right now and I carry my iPad into these tribes that have never seen a fucking pencil, they're going to think that I'm a god because I have this thing in my hand that they've never seen anything like it. And I think that might be the case with a lot of religion. So now that I've successfully probably pissed off some people, and you know what? I want to say I'm sorry, but I got off on a tangent on religion, and I had to go back to my childhood of how much that makes me upset in my adulthood that I didn't get a choice in that, and how much it was held against me, that I didn't fucking turn out the little saint or something like that. Like I'm a better person than I was a year ago, and I'm very happy with who I am now. So I don't know what to say. I'll issue a statement of apology later or something. I don't know. I don't know. Don't be racist. That's what I'll say. Don't be racist. Don't be racist, because people will remember that and they won't like you at all. They'll years later they'll say something about how they didn't like you. Take from that what you will. That's going to do it for me. If you need the suicide prevention line, it's 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. You can also check out my wonderful sponsors, 4HM Clothing, MileHighAngel.com, AdamEve.com, and Manscaped.com. Get varying discounts at all of those websites using offer code ADULTING. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'm glad that I was able to get an episode out finally. Sorry that there was so much time between the last one and this one. But, I'm going to try and lock down a schedule of like, hey, bro, it's fucking Friday night at 8. I got to do my podcast. I'll be downstairs in an hour and a half. I love you. Or maybe she'll come and join me, which would be fucking awesome. I love it when she comes and joins me. I love it when she comes and shoots the show with me on the show and interacts with the people. So that's it for me. Good night, everyone.